lights are out. It's a top 25 showdown in West Texas. Number 12, West Virginia, looks to remain unbeaten. Texas Tech seeking a 4th consecutive win. And good afternoon, 11 a.m. kick time here in Lubbock, and East Schroff alongside former Longhorn Ahmad Brooks. If you like offense, this is the game for you. 2 of the top 3 passing offenses in the country. And it starts with quarterback play, and West Virginia's got its Heisman hopeful in Will Grier.
Yeah, what I love about him is this young man is clutch. And I think when you start to look at this offense, they're outstanding on 3rd down and red zone. That proves to me that this kid is clutch. 62.5% on converting on their 3rd down chances. And in the red zone, they're perfect on the year. 9 of their 12 chances have resulted in touchdowns. But please do not sleep on Texas Tech. The young freshman quarterback, Alan Bowman. We asked Cliff Kingsbury yesterday, does this kid have it? And he said, yes. He does it in a number of ways. You see him here leading the nation when it comes to passing yards, but it's the way he manages the game and the poise that he plays with that makes him special. This should be a fun one today.
The Red Raiders won the toss. They defer. West Virginia will receive. Texas Tech coming off that road win at Oklahoma State. Mountaineers a perfect 3-0. They beat Kansas State last week. Clayton Hatfield kicks it off, and West Virginia will take it out at the 25 as we say hello to Roddy Jones.
Well, guys, Dana Holgorsen and Cliff Kingsbury are 2 of the most prolific offensive minds in the entire country, and it's no surprise that the 2 share a close relationship that goes back to Kingsbury's playing days here at Texas Tech when Holgorsen was an assistant coach. They also coached together at the University of Houston, where they were actually roommates there at the time as well, so they got to know each other pretty well. 2 other coaches that know each other well on opposite sidelines in this game. West Virginia's offensive coordinator, Jake Spavital's older brother, Zach Spavital, is the co-defensive coordinator for Texas Tech, so a lot of familiarity on these sidelines.
On 1st down, Will Grier to throw, and out of the hands of the Alabama transfer, T.J. Simmons. 2nd down, that's a ball that Simmons has to catch. Will Grier, a 5th-year senior, began his career at Florida. He's thrown for 300 or more yards in 12 of his 14 starts as a Mountaineer, completing almost 3/4 of his passes this season. On 2nd down, Grier with time. And completes for a 1st down. It is Marcus Sims who's coming off back-to-back 100-yard games.
That was a beautifully thrown ball on the outside edge, right off of that curl route. And Will Grier, you'll see that all day today. His accuracy, his placement, his ball placement is one of the best in the country.
Dana Holgorsen, a former wide receiver, said, you can be covered. Will Grier will still get you the ball where you can catch it. 3rd straight pass, plenty of time for Grier. And he finds Gary Jennings, who led the Big 12 in receptions a season ago. Yeah, Ahmad, your keys for West Virginia.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've seen it. 3 straight passes today. They've got to challenge the secondary regularly. They're the 3rd best passing team in the country, and Texas Tech's defense is poor at best. They rank 110th in the nation defending the pass. Put the ball in the hand of your Heisman hopeful Will Grier and let him carve this defense up.
Again, Grier to throw. And that one is broken up, intended for Jennings. Nice defensive play by Douglas Coleman.
Well, Anish, if Texas Tech is able to win the one-on-one matchups like they did right there, the defense they have not been great this year. But if they can win those matchups down the field, then they're going to have a shot. So we're going to need to see more plays like we saw just there from this Texas Tech defense.
Mountaineers 2nd nationally in 3rd down conversion percentage. Only UCF is better. Grier back to the air. He's got Simmons, a big gain inside the 30, and TJ Simmons rumbles down to the 15-yard line. A big physical target who came over from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, and that was the matchup they were looking for. And Will Grier has the presence and the state of mind to find the winning matchups for his team. That time, Dakota Allen, the middle linebacker, outmatched by the talented wide receiver.
And now at this part of the field, you have to identify 13 in white, David Sills, maybe the best red zone target in college football.
I think he is.
He's lined up at the bottom of your screen. On the fly sweep, this is Tevin Bush. And Tevin Bush, the 5'6" sophomore from New Orleans, picks up 7. West Virginia this season has been in the red zone 12 times. They've scored 9 touchdowns, along with 3 field goals.
And Texas Tech defensively has decided that they're going to go one-on-one on the outside edges with the wide receivers, but they're playing soft coverage, giving up yardage in front of them and not behind.
Grier has Jennings, touchdown, West Virginia. The 5th touchdown for Jennings on the season, and the Mountaineers march right down the field, and they trusted the right arm of Will Grier all the way.
Yeah, I'm more impressed by that Karate Kid kick that he just showed. But watch, the physical contact here just doesn't faze him. And in talking to the staff, this kid has the strongest hands on the team. What does that mean? In traffic, he's still able to track that ball. He did not catch that with his shoulders, not his body, but his hands, his fingertips. Brilliant catch, brilliant ball from Grier, as the Mountaineers are up early in this ballgame.
That's something West Virginia practices. They use the tennis ball drill with their wide receivers. The difference is they tell the receivers you can't catch the ball using the palm of your hands.
Sweet.
Only your fingers. Cliff Kingsbury and Dana Holgorsen, once roommates while they were both coaches at Houston, and both of them told us they were polar opposites, the odd couple. Kingsbury, an early riser, the neat Nick. Holgorsen said he was on the sloppy side when it came to keeping the apartment clean, and he liked to stay up late, but 2 of the best offensive minds in all of college football, Ahmad.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see that matchup, and they're so creative in the way that they score points and how they do it.
The Red Raiders will bring it out to the 25-yard line. We get the first look at this Texas Tech offense that's averaging more than 50 points a game, and they are led by the true freshman, 18-year-old Alan Bowman. Last week, he became the first Red Raider quarterback since his head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, to win in Stillwater. The last 2 weeks, more than 1,000 yards passing. And oh, by the way, it's believed that he opened the season as the number 3 quarterback. We asked Cliff Kingsbury, was he the 3rd guy coming into the season? And he said, I don't want to answer that.
Smart man.
McLean Carter was the starter, but he got hurt in week 1 in the loss to Ole Miss. And Bowman on first down fires one far side, and that's caught by Daquan Bowman, no relation. 5th-year senior from Millville, New Jersey, a gain of 3. Both these teams like to run their offense at warp speed. On the ground, and that is DeMarcus Felton, no gain. Felton, the senior from Houston, coming off the best game of his career, 130 yards, a career high against Oklahoma State.
And the one thing that stands out when you watch this West Virginia defense is their speed. You look at them and the numbers don't lead you to believe that they're the most physical in terms of their size, but they're fast, they're physical, they're ferocious. You'll see those running lanes close extremely fast today while watching this defense.
Let's see if they unleash the blitz here on 3rd and 7. They'll drop 8. This one is complete. And that's Jadian High, 6th-year senior. And that moves the chains for the Red Raiders, a gain of 14.
And there you have it. That's the poise of Bowman right there. The quick out, beautifully thrown pass, about a yard out inside in front of the numbers, which is exactly where you want that ball to be.
2-by-2 formation. Felton tackled in the backfield by Kenny Bigelow, the transfer from USC. 40 in white, considered retiring from football after multiple knee injuries, but got a 6th year from the NCAA and decided to use a graduate transfer to come from USC to West Virginia. This Mountaineer defense deep on the defensive line, probably the best defensive unit. This is the most complete team Dana Holgorsen has had since West Virginia joined the Big 12. And no TJ Vasher, one of the starting wideouts and one of the better ones for Texas Tech. We were told he was doubtful and would be a game-time decision. That one is intercepted off the hands of Bowman into the hands of Kenny Robinson. Robinson had 3 interceptions last year, an all Big 12 selection, and West Virginia back in business.
After being so precise on all of his passes, Bowman makes the first mistake, and Robinson right there to clean it up. This ball is thrown in and behind him, and when you put that paw up as a wide receiver, the one thing that you're thinking is, you know, you're still trying to make that play, but you run the risk of tipping the ball right up to the defense, and Bowman off target here is the reason why West Virginia's offense is now back out on the field with wonderful field position, and Will Grier with an opportunity to lead his team to another touchdown.
West Virginia begins inside the Texas Tech 40. Grier to the air again. Buying time. Dumps it off. And that's caught by Kennedy McCoy, the running back, a gain of 8. Ahmad, what's impressive about Grier's pocket presence?
You can tell he's seen every look. At this point in his career, he's played every defense in the Big 12. He understands the concepts, what they're trying to do to him defensively, and you saw it there, the poise, the patience. He didn't even panic, despite the pocket collapsing, despite coverage being well downfield. Will Grier still made a play.
On the ground this time, it's McCoy. Hammerheads up the middle. A first down for West Virginia. Kennedy McCoy, junior from Lexington, North Carolina, came in averaging better than 6 yards per carry. West Virginia 3-0, wins against Tennessee, Youngstown State, Kansas State. The NC State game canceled due to Hurricane Florence. Grier to Sills on the slant, and Sills suplexed to the ground at the 11-yard line by Fry.
Guys, and that's what makes this West Virginia so difficult. You saw there the body position by Sills making the play, but on the play before, it's so hard on these DBs, and that's something that plagued them in this game last year, was penalties from the defensive backfield. They were called for 5 pass interference penalties, 16 penalties overall for over 150 yards. Absolutely killed this Texas Tech defense a year ago.
Letty Brown, the true freshman running back, into the game for West Virginia. The give is to Brown. And the bruiser from Philadelphia is close to a first down.
Yeah, Roddy, what's your impression of this Mountaineers rushing attack?
I really like the fact that they're committed to it. It's downhill. It really sets up their RPOs, the run-pass options, especially down here in the red zone.
On third down, Jennings down to the 1-yard line, first and goal. And Dana Holgorsen told us, you want to defend David Sills down here? Fine, we'll run the ball. We will take what the defense gives you.
And there is no fumble.
Onto the ground and into the end zone for 6. It's Letty Brown, his second rushing touchdown of the season.
I tell you what I really like about that drive, the tempo that Jake Spavital and this offense went into. They started off with normal pace, and then you saw them really speed it up at the end here and put the pressure on this Texas Tech defense that's been on the field already at this point longer than the opposing team. So what you're starting to see here is the mind game and the chess pieces and the movements between these two coordinators, and Spavital is 2-0 right now as the first 2 drives for his team resulted in touchdowns.
Letty Brown on the ground. Young man from Philadelphia. They think he's going to be a special one. Dana Holgorsen told us there's no real starter at running back. They like to play the hot hand, get a lot of different bodies in there. We've seen McCoy, we've seen Petaway, and Brown with the last touchdown. PAT by Evan Staley is good. It started with a turnover. Kenny Robinson, the interception off the tip ball. And West Virginia using the short field and getting the freshman from Philly. Couple of head coaches who know each other well. Dana Holgorsen was an assistant for a long time at Texas Tech when Cliff Kingsbury played there. Then they were colleagues, friends, roommates at Houston under Kevin Sumlin. Of course, Kingsbury, a record-setting quarterback with the Red Raiders, and he's become a quarterback whisperer in the college game. His proteges have had great success, not just in college, but we're starting to see that at the next level too.
What about the fashion statement with those sweet shades he has on?
This is Bowman out of the end zone and takes it up close to the 25-yard line.
This Texas Tech offense is big and can be a little lumbering.
Bowman with time, looking for Wesley, nearly intercepted. Keith Washington, the Michigan transfer. That might have been a pick six if he comes up with it.
I'll tell you what it was a lesson for Bowman. You know, when you start planning these matchups and when you have this type of speed, that's what it looks like. The ball fake here, I'm not sure even why he took his left hand off of the ball, but if you're going to throw it, throw it. You've got to let that thing loose, and that gave the defensive back an opportunity to read that play and get a great jump on the football.
Mountaineers again, drop 8, rush 3. This is Felton looking for some wiggle room. And DeMarcus Felton out to the 22. It's 3rd and long. Felton back in May had tweeted out his intent to transfer, but had a change of heart. He was a young man who hadn't seen much playing time the last couple of years. A senior, thought about going elsewhere, but then decided he wanted to be a part of this team. And talking to Cliff Kingsbury, the coaches really felt happy for him after the performance he had in the win against Oklahoma State. On 3rd down, here's the pressure. Bowman, incomplete. Another nice play by Washington, knocking it away from Wesley, who's the Big 12's leading receiver entering the week.
Yeah, but those are the plays that if you're Wesley, that's how you win over your quarterback. You've got an opportunity. They went zone coverage. He's coming across the field on a dig, and this is a catchable ball. He puts it in a good location. If you get your hands on it and you've got this kind of frame at 6'5", 200 pounds, you've got to make that play for your team and your quarterback to keep the chains moving. Texas Tech with another missed opportunity.
Panazzolo to punt it away. And a fair catch is made by Jennings. Martell Pettaway bouncing off a defender. And he's to the 41, a gain of 8 for the junior from Detroit.
That was great patience to get in behind the offensive line, reading the block, and making the cut at the right time. Excellent 1st down yardage for the Mountaineers.
West Virginia gets almost half of its yards on 1st down. Sims into Red Raider territory, and he's spun down at the 45. 4th catch for Marcus Sims.
Did you see how fast that ball came out of Will Grier's hand? And the decision-making, the efficiency. I mean, this young man's seen it all. He saw the one-on-one matchup, went into the RPO game, and he got that thing out there in a hurry.
Best quarterback in college football?
Yeah, and I think he's my leading Heisman candidate right now for sure.
Grier, downfield, looking for Sims. Touchdown, Mountaineers.
And that is why. What a dart. And we knew coming in that this Texas Tech defense, passing defense in particular, really struggles. Will Grier here, this is his 2nd read. He started on the right side of the field, comes back across, knew he had a one-on-one matchup based on what he saw at the top of coverage. Comes back, throws a beautifully thrown ball exactly where Sims was going to be. Man, what a throw from Will Grier.
5 catches, 91 yards for Sims. Last week against Kansas State, 5 for a $136. Sims already in this 1st quarter, closing in on his 3rd straight 100-yard game. And Will Grier, 11 out of 15, 174 yards. He has looked every bit the Heisman candidate he is, and Alan Bowman, for the first time this season, has looked like a freshman. And we'll get a flag, so a procedure call will give Texas Tech good field position as well. So Roderick Thompson into the backfield for Texas Tech. Bowman slings one toward the sideline, just threw that away. Zach Austin was the closest receiver. Second down. What's West Virginia doing defensively, Roddy, right now to take Texas Tech out of its rhythm?
They're challenging everything on the outside. They are right up on these Texas Tech receivers. And when Bowman's been able to make the throws, the receivers haven't helped them by making the catches. Texas Tech receivers are going to have to make contested catches all day. They haven't been able to do it so far.
Bowman. And there's Wesley for his first catch. Now everybody got to see it. There's Jadian High to the 41. A gain of 14. High, a sixth-year senior. Young man grew up on a ranch, cleaning horse stables and pig pens, feeding chickens.
My kind of guy. And that's the Bowman we've seen. Two efficient and beautifully thrown balls. That's the young man I've seen on film all week.
Bowman, again, plenty of time. Going long, wants Wesley. He's got it. And Texas Tech answers.
Yeah, this was a beautifully thrown ball. Right on target, found the matchup he wanted over the top. Wesley doing the right job versus Washington to get skinny once he's beat him. So now you allow the quarterback to throw over the top of you, and it puts the defensive back at your back. And Wesley going up making a heck of a grab as he scores his 5th touchdown of the year.
No TJ Vasher today, but Wesley came into this game as the top receiver statistically in the Big 12. And this is Petaway. Advances across the 30 all the way to the 34-yard line. Got a generous spot, and it'll set up a 2nd and 1. Chunk yards on first down seem to be par for the course for West Virginia.
Said it. And I think so much of it is because of what they do in the RPO package. It really forces the defense to have to defend and do their job. You can't try to do two-gap if you're a defensive lineman. You have to stay focused and stay true to your defense.
Back to Petaway. Another first down for West Virginia. Roddy, is West Virginia a team that can win the Big 12 this season?
I did not pick them to win the Big 12, but if they play like this on offense, absolutely. And they may have the best player in the conference in Will Grier, and this defense is so impressive when you see them on the field. The team.
Petaway taken down in the backfield. Tony Jones, who's lived in the backfield this season, his 6th TFL. As Will Grier, 11 out of 15. Petaway picks up the blitz. Sims able to hang on, and he's going to be close to another first down. It's 3rd and short, and Sims closing in on another 100-yard receiving game.
And he's had some success today on that hook route. Really finding space in between, and Will Grier is putting the ball in the right location, allowing him to make those catches. 3rd and short here, one of the best 3rd down teams in the nation. And Will Grier, this is where he likes to get into his RPO to really suck in the defense.
Grier over the middle, Sims. A flag down at the end of the play. If it stands, it will be the 7th catch of the quarter for Sims.
Holding. Defense number 23. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Guys, that was an incredible throw by Will Grier. That receiver is not open in college football. College quarterbacks don't make that throw. That's only an open receiver in the NFL, and that was an NFL throw from Grier.
Agreed.
On the delay, McCoy slips past the defense. McCoy, is he in? Touchdown, West Virginia. A 38-yard run by Kennedy McCoy.
Wow. The rhythm of this offense right now. You know, you pass the ball, you pass the ball, you pass the ball. And then you come back with a delay, draw, whatever you want to call it, where you get the defense thinking pass and you hand it off to one of the fastest players on the team and let him do the rest of the work right out of the backside. And West Virginia, man, showing why they have one of the best teams in the country, and it starts with this offense.
An impressive opening quarter on the road as Staley drills the PAT. Now listen, Texas Tech is going to put up points. This offense is too good to be held in check. The question is going to be, can they stop West Virginia?
Well, and they can't give up the big plays. They're giving those up. And you've got to limit them to field goals once they get inside of the red zone to shave some of those points. And they just haven't been able to do it. And then talking to the defensive coordinator yesterday for Texas Tech, David Gibbs, he knew that this was going to be a challenge today. He said it to us. He was very aware of it. He was just hoping that his defense could make a few plays to keep the Texas Tech Red Raiders offense in the game in the fourth quarter.
Bowman. And that's the final play of the first quarter. Oh, you bet West Virginia looks the part right now of a Big 12 contender, and maybe more. They're on pace for more than 1,100 yards of total offense. Mountain Mama up 28-7. Cliff Kingsbury started growing out a beard after the Week 1 loss. The Red Raiders 3-0 since he started growing the beard out. So it got us thinking. We have all these advanced metrics. We forecast, we project. What if Texas Tech goes on a 12-game win streak? He's Fitzmagic. If they match Oklahoma's record 47-game win streak, he's going to go Dumbledore on us.
That's good stuff. Well, they'll need to come out here offensively and be sharp in order for that streak to continue.
They've got some work to do. Tayzon Henry with a nice pickup on first down. Ahmad, you grew up playing against Cliff Kingsbury. You played against him not only in the All-Star circuit in high school, but in college as well. What was he like?
Well, he's cool, calm, and collected, and he's still carrying himself that way as a head coach, and that's why his players enjoy playing for him.
I liked what you said at walkthrough yesterday. He's got swag.
He does.
Keyshawn Carter, former high school track champion, and we get a flag on the play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 2, 15 yards added to the end of the run, first down.
Penalty on Kenny Robinson, the safety.
And Robinson is a good football player. There, just gets his hands too high. Got to make sure that you get your hands in and around the waist to prevent that call from happening.
Here's Felton. Broke the initial tackle to pick up the first down. The senior from Houston, only 5'7", but he runs hard.
Just get in behind that fullback. I'd go back to the ground here. They found some success, put some pressure on this defense.
Instead, it's to the air. Wide open, finding the soft spot in the zone. Jadian High for a first down.
That's a great job from Bowman of finding a passing window. So many times with this West Virginia defense, when they drop back numbers, they cloud up your look. And so you have to sift through that and be able to see to the next level. Bowman doing a good job of that there.
Screen pass to Wesley. And he is tripped up by Keith Washington. Good tackle in space by the junior from Alabama.
That's a tough play to make. You know, I believe it's the hardest tackle in football in the open field, and Washington there making it look easy.
So Roderick Thompson in at running back. He gets the call. Fighting for extra yards, and Thompson inside the 10. It'll bring up 3rd and short. Running back was a position that was a big question mark going into the season. Then injuries to their top 2 guys, DeLeon Ward and Trey King. But the freshman Thompson and Henry have given some punch and some juice to Texas Tech. 3rd and short. Bowman will try to sneak it forward, and he's got enough for a first down.
Yeah, and up until this drive, it was hard for me to believe that Cliff Kingsbury had found a rhythm in his play calls. Now you're really starting to see him mix it up. The run game is helping because they're getting yardage off of that. But Texas Tech is in a good rhythm as they have a fresh set of downs inside of the 10.
Toss to Felton, and he is deleted back at the 10.
Oh my
Josh
goodness.
Norwood, the cornerback.
He was on a corner blitz. He just blows the play up. Fantastic. You'll see him here at the bottom of your screen. Excellent angle on the ball carrier. And Felton will fill that one tomorrow.
12th play of the drive. On 2nd and goal, Felton brought down from behind by Long, the outstanding weak side linebacker, averaging 10 tackles a game.
He's everywhere. I mean, when you turn on the tape, you're not going to see a frame where 11's not in it. He plays with the right energy. He's an emotional player, and he's also got great talent.
3rd and goal. The 6'5" Wesley is lined up at the top.
Yeah, I bring the heat here if I'm West Virginia and force him to get this ball out of his hand quickly as the West Virginia defensive backs are playing in soft coverage.
Bowman. End zone. Too high for Bowman. Allen looking for Daquan, and it's 4th down. And the kicking team will come out. Clayton Hatfield will attempt a short field goal.
Well, let's go back to the keys of the game. Win in the red zone. That was my key. Now you've shaved off points, assuming they make this field goal. Texas Tech had an opportunity to score, but the West Virginia defense bending but not breaking.
The kick is good by Hatfield. A 13-play drive. Texas Tech got into a bit of a rhythm and then stalled inside the 10. The Red Raiders settle for 3. ESPN College Football presented by ExxonMobil. Alongside Ahmad Brooks, I'm Anish Shroff. Roddy Jones down on the sideline. We apologize for some technical difficulties. We had some issues with our booth microphones a little while ago. We hope to have that resolved for you. 28-10 the score. Mountaineers on top. They've got the ball, looking to tack on with 5 minutes into change to go here in the first half. And they'll keep it on the ground. It's Kennedy McCoy, part of that backfield triumvirate. McCoy, Petaway, and Brown. Alex Sinkfield was the Ringo Starr of that group, but he's out today. He's still injured, got hurt in the Youngstown State game, has not played since. On 2nd down, back to the ground. McCoy broke the initial tackle. Lost the football, but they say he was down. And he's got enough for a first down. And Ahmad and Roddy, the theme seems to be constant. West Virginia has been doing so much damage on first down.
Well, that's where this team coming into the ball game, you said it earlier, almost 50% of their yards on the year have come on first down, and they've continued to be hot on that down, Roddy.
They have, and the commitment to the run has been a big part of it. I mean, it's pick your poison with this West Virginia offense, especially on first down when everything's available.
On the ground once again, Letty Brown. Talking to Dana Holgorsen, he told us as we have more flags, even with Will Grier and these NFL caliber receivers, they're not married to throwing the ball 50 times a game. You look at their splits, it's almost 50-50 run and pass. They will take what the defense gives them. We told you at the start of the broadcast, you've got two coaches who are great friends. They've got a history with each other, Dana Holgorsen and Cliff Kingsbury. You've got two brothers on opposite staffs.
Now, you've got to be able to balance that bite, though. You know, sometimes you bark out here. You bite during the whistles, and you bark when it's after the whistle. And then you wait for the next snap, and you tell that guy, hey, I'll see you next play. But you've got to be controlled and understand that when you have penalties like that, you really do hurt your team.
On second down, Grier underneath to Jennings. And Jennings able to fight for a few extra yards. I think he's got the first down. Now, one thing that David Gibbs was worried about, the Texas Tech defensive coordinator, is how West Virginia deploys its wideouts, Roddy. They use their bigger guys on the inside.
And David Gibbs is an NFL guy. He's used to those big, long, strong receivers being on the outside, and the quicker guys like Marcus Sims being on the inside. West Virginia does it opposite, so it's almost flipping the way that you think about it, because typically those big guys are matched up against nickel corners, which are typically smaller and quicker.
It's third and short. McCoy's got the first down. Blast past the 45 for a gain of 7. Roddy, what's the tactical advantage of playing your bigger guys on the inside?
Well, you get the bigger bodies, the mismatches against those nickel guys, which are typically smaller, as I said, but also you can line those guys up against linebackers and create some of those mismatches. And Ahmad, as a safety, I'm sure it even changes the way that you play and the way that you shade a particular guy in a particular way.
That's true, but then you're also looking at the fact that that's a closer throw for the quarterback, right?
Throw to a bigger target. Grier over the middle. Sims, that's his 8th catch of the first half.
He does a fine job of finding space on the field. And oftentimes in this offense, especially when you have a veteran quarterback like Will Grier and a wide receiving core that also has experience, you can do different things, which allows you to tell them to read leverage. If a guy is sitting outside, you run in. And if he's sitting inside, you run out. And West Virginia does a lot of that in this offense.
McCoy to the 29. Now those three receivers, Sims, Jennings, and Sills, all came into this game averaging at least 80 yards per game. It is, in every sense, pick your poison.
When we were talking to Texas Tech yesterday, David Gibbs told us that, they've kind of drawn the short end of the stick, having played this wide receiving core and also the Ole Miss wide receiving core, maybe the two best in the country.
Yeah, no question. All day for Grier. He can read War and Peace back there. And finally throws it away.
And guys, as much as West Virginia has been on fire today, the best part about this game for Texas Tech, they have not allowed a touchdown in the second quarter. So this Texas Tech defense, with less than 2 minutes to go, is still fighting. And now they're making substitutions because West Virginia has. And this is a key third down right here. Can you get off of the field? If you're David Gibbs, you're going to put your corners in man-to-man. You've got to win those matchups. If you're linebackers, make sure you're flowing to the football, hit what you see, and guess right.
Grier looking that way. Looking for Jennings, who brings it in. The second touchdown of the game by Gary Jennings.
What a grab. I mean, there wasn't anywhere else to throw the ball, but watch this catch, the top of your screen. and they crossed them over. That makes it extremely difficult for guys to get in your face, because if you've got big wide receivers, you want to jam them up at the line. But they weren't able to do that. Jennings slips on the backside, and the catch there was phenomenal.
PAT is good. The Mountaineers put up more than 380 yards of total offense in that first half. Marcus Sims, already a career day. And we still have another 30 minutes to play. 9 catches, 138 yards for Sims. All Mountain Mama. Time for the halftime report with Chris Cotter. Start of the second half at Jones AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, Texas, all West Virginia. The Mountaineers looking every bit the part of a team that can win the Big 12, 35-10. West Virginia on top of Texas Tech in this top 25 showdown. One of 5 matchups today between a pair of ranked teams. Texas Tech will receive to begin this second half. And a Schroff alongside Ahmad Brooks. Roddy Jones we'll hear from momentarily. The big news for the Red Raiders, their starting quarterback, Alan Bowman, out for the game, injured in the first half. How does that change the offensive approach for Texas Tech?
Well, you have a game plan going in, and he's gotten all the reps with the one offense. So now you're throwing out a guy, right, who hadn't practiced much with the ones. Look for some miscommunication and maybe some faulty play early on until they figure out what they're doing.
And Jet Duffy, who finished the first half for Texas Tech, will begin the second half with Trey King in the backfield. First look at Trey King today, who has not played since the opener. And King gets the call. Tackled by Bigelow after a gain of 3 as we check in with Roddy.
Guys, I had a chance to catch up with Cliff Kingsbury coming out of halftime, and he's the one that told me that Alex Bowman will not return in this game, so it's Jet Duffy's team. It was a hit that he took in the first half that knocked him out. When I asked him what changes with Jet Duffy in the game, he said we're going to look for things that he's comfortable with. And guys, the backup quarterback now is Colt Garrett, guy that's played in 1 game this year and has not thrown very many passes.
A nice run here for King to the 40, a gain of 13. And yeah, you mentioned Garrett, a redshirt sophomore who came to Texas Tech as a walk-on. And that's your quarterback depth right now. So seeing quarterbacks go down today. Trevor Lawrence for Clemson, Alan Bowman for the Red Raiders. Duffy airmails Wesley.
Yeah, that's not his strength right here. And if you're Cliff, here's what you've got to do. Get him comfortable with the game plan, right? I would expect for them to get into their RPO package. You'd like to see that on first or second down where maybe you can chip away at the sticks.
Tayzon Henry with a first down. Henry, a freshman from Houston, the team's leading rusher. You hear his name pronounced Tayzon a lot. That's how it's listed. We were told today it's Tayzon. Sometimes that happens with freshmen, right? Call them one thing for a long time, and then all of a sudden, remember Monte Ball at Wisconsin? Duffy downfield, dangerous pass, and that might be a targeting on Norwood. Jadian High was the intended target. He was a defenseless player. The flag coming at the end of the play.
Targeting number 4 of the defense.
If the call stands, Norwood would be ejected from this game and then would have to sit for the first half of next week's game against Kansas. What do you think, Ahmad?
I see his argument. He's saying that he hit him with his shoulder. He did lead with his shoulder. He didn't lead with his head.
So Norwood is out, and he will have to miss the first half of next week's home game against Kansas.
Yeah, that's the right call. And I hope during the offseason that there continues to be more discussion. Even when you use the word launch, I think, that can be very difficult. I've tried to tackle before. Most of the times you leave your feet. And it's a discretion call for these officials. And like I said, I don't envy anyone who has to make that call. And I don't envy anybody who's playing in college football right now under the climate of targeting.
And you have to remember, the officials are told, if you think it's targeting, throw the flag. Nothing doing that time for Thompson. Or rather, Henry. 35-10, West Virginia on top of Texas Tech. The Red Raiders ranked after a road win against Oklahoma State last week. They blanked the Cowboys in the second half, held Oklahoma State to 0 passing yards in the fourth quarter. As Jet Duffy is engulfed by Jabril Robinson, the grad transfer from Clemson.
Yeah, this is what makes this defense so challenging. I mean, here's one of your defensive ends at 6'2", 273, and he runs like a running back. So when you try to get Duffy on that edge, normally you're going against a guy who's a lot bigger, a lot slower. That is not the case with the Mountaineers.
And Duffy on third down, running. And that's brought in by Carter. It's going to set up a 4th and about 3.5.
Yeah, run it here. You know.
Offense stays out on the field, down by 25. Felton in the backfield. West Virginia brings pressure. Duffy is hit. Completes to Wesley. And Antoine Wesley has the first down. Little tunnel screen. Carter tumbles inside the 10.
And I think depth of the conference. And even when I look at the Big 12, some people will say, well, only Oklahoma at this point looks like an elite team. But as you start to get to the middle of those teams, somebody's going to emerge at some point. And the season, as we know, especially when you get into November, teams start to separate themselves. So it's extremely hard right now to tell who really the top teams are in every conference.
Running a little speed option. Duffy pitches to Henry. Little juke move, and Henry taken out of bounds near the goal line. We've seen Cliff Kingsbury get creative in those multiple back sets when he gets inside the 10.
I like Tayzon Henry. The more I look at this freshman from the very storied program, Houston, there at Lamar, puts out a ton of defensive backs and D1 players. And you look at him there, that's the wiggle we talked about. And Cliff said yesterday, I'm really excited to see how this guy is going to grow and develop throughout the years because he's got the stuff.
This is Henry. And he is stopped right at the point by David Long. Second down. Against Oklahoma State, Kingsbury drew up an incredible play down here last week. A little pop pass to Keyshawn Carter. Had the entire defense fooled as to where the ball was. Now Duffy under center, out of the I formation. Play action. Duffy in trouble. End zone wide open. Touchdown, Texas Tech. Daquan Bowman.
That was an impressive series for the Red Raiders. Mixed it up. I think it all started with them getting on the ground, starting to establish themselves, which then now forces West Virginia to defend both the run and the pass. And they've run as many plays on the day. 58 plays for West Virginia, 58 plays for Texas Tech. 11 plays on that drive, 64 yards, 3 minutes and 53 seconds as they find themselves in the end zone.
And at the pace that these two teams are capable of playing, and there's still a lot of football left.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they can play on 1 to 2 plays. They can put it together. And Texas Tech, I know with Bowman in the game, I understand that it's still one of the best deep passing teams in the country.
Hatfield to kick it away. Mountaineers will take it out at the 25-yard line. Oklahoma State had dominated Texas Tech for almost a decade. That was a significant win. They hadn't won there since Cliff Kingsbury was a player.
That was a tough place to play. And I asked him, I said, Cliff, what did that do for the culture and the chemistry of this team? And he said, listen, it gave us confidence because we've been chasing that program. And so when you have that type of confidence, maybe it doesn't pay off today, but it will down the road.
Grier, they're finding Jennings, who picks up a first down. And Again, 13 yards on first down. This is becoming a too familiar refrain, Roddy.
Yeah, and I think if I'm Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator for West Virginia, I'm opening this thing back up. I'm turning Will Grier loose. You don't want Texas Tech to have any sort of momentum. And this offense has really kind of been in neutral since that big first quarter.
Martell Petaway finds some running room and another big gain on first down. 13 more. Dakota Allen on this stop. The Mountaineers to midfield. Will Grier, fifth-year senior, began his career at Florida. The least famous person amongst his siblings. A couple of brothers and a sister who are, as the kids say, internet famous. Petaway into the embrace of Texas Tech and Rico Jeffers.
Yeah, Rico Jeffers did not even buy the play fake there from Will Grier. He just attacked the football. That's an excellent play there from the young man from Garland, Texas.
A rare negative play on first down for West Virginia. Grier under pressure, gets away. And Grier able to scamper out of bounds. The pressure coming from Colin Hill. And boy, did Grier get help from a huge block in the backfield.
Wow, the block. Look at the spin move from your quarterback to avoid the sack there. And now give yourself at least a shot here on this 3rd and long. One thing you'll need here is good protection. Anytime you've got those late developing routes, you want your quarterback to be able to sit in the pocket. Texas Tech appears to be a one high safety look with man-to-man on the outside edge.
Mountaineers need the Red Raider 40. Grier downfield through the hands of Sills. Old Reliable could not come up with that, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, they got what they were looking for. The one-on-one matchup, the safety bells right before the snap. And they just set Sills right in behind that. And that's the 4th West Virginia drop. We've seen a few of them today.
Now the pendulum is swung here. Texas Tech without its starting quarterback, Alan Bowman, injured in the first half, out for the game. Looking to claw back in. Kinney kicks it away. And Bowman wisely lets it bounce into the end zone. So Texas Tech gets it back at the 20-yard line. And, you know, for all the talk of, you know, the Red Raiders and their struggles on defense, they got blitzed and burned and beat up pretty good in that first quarter.
Oh,
they've been okay since then.
Yeah, they were taken to the woodshed. You know, you give up 28 points, and it looked like West Virginia could do anything they wanted on the football field. And I made the point right before we went into halftime, right, that if they could make a stop there, and they weren't able to because Jennings had a wonderful catch, but they were starting to really suffocate this offense. And whether that was West Virginia feeling like they were already up convincingly in the ball game, or Texas Tech started to win those one-on-one matchups that Roddy alluded to early on in the game about one of the keys.
First carry of the game for DeLeon Ward. His first action since the season opener against Ole Miss. Ward got hurt in that game, hadn't played since. Same with Trey King. We've seen both today. Texas Tech now 5 deep in the backfield. McDuffie, 10 of 15 passing. And that one is dropped by Wesley, 3rd down, or rather 2nd down.
That just took his eyes off the football. And sometimes when you're catching the ball, you're thinking about making a play after the catch, and you lose your fundamentals. You know what I mean? That's really what happens, and there's no other way to say it. That was a beautifully thrown ball by Duffy, and it would have been enough for a 1st down.
And I feel like drops like that really, really dampen these tempo offenses that are so predicated on rhythm.
Another 3-man rush. Incomplete, intended for the 6th-year senior, Zach Austin. Austin really didn't play much the last couple of years due to knee injuries. A teammate of Baker Mayfield's in high school. Those two still very close. Mayfield, of course, started his collegiate career at Texas Tech. Three-man rush again by West Virginia. Duffy downfield. That's caught. Now the ball comes out, and they will rule it incomplete. Jadian High was the intended target.
Two costly drops.
Now, did he catch that?
Pass.
That looks like a catch. I mean,
He looked like he
hard
may
to
have
tell.
been down.
But then it goes back to what you're saying, the initial ruling. And so
Does he
you can't
catch it and make a football move, and then if he goes down, then that's a catch?
and you can't even challenge. Okay.
Now, you can challenge that. Remember, if there's a fumble, if there is a recovery in the immediate aftermath, then you can challenge the play. But I think they're going to see if I think this may hold up as a catch. Does he catch the ball? Does he make a football move? Is that deemed a football move? The knee goes down, and then the ball comes out. Ahmad, I think
That looks
that's
like a catch to me. That looks like a catch. And the football move part I'm always confused about because you're on the football field. And to me, anything that happens on the football field is a football move.
Catch.
The receiver was an upright receiver when he caught the ball. He went to the ground, had possession, and then the ball came loose. It is a completed pass. It'll be first down, Texas Tech.
And that's a good call.
I think so. Let's take one more look at that. Yeah, I think the officials got this one right for sure. And now all of the momentum once again swings right back to the Red Raiders sideline. What will they do with that? And to Duffy's credit, he threw two balls in that drive that were excellent throws in the right location, helping this offense continue to move along.
Texas Tech mounting a little bit of a comeback. 35-17. Red Raiders are on the move as the fourth quarter begins. Dana Holgorsen told us this week his team has not faced adversity yet. He was curious to see how they would respond to a moment of adversity. Well, here they are on the road. Texas Tech with all the momentum right now, down by 18. The way these two teams play, you're still going to see plenty of possessions. You'll have a chance if you're the Red Raiders. But this is that adverse moment for West Virginia. How do they react? We're about to find out.
Well, they've got an experienced team, and that's one thing that bodes well for you in adverse situations because these guys have probably been through that at some point in their career.
Duffy over the middle, through the hands of Bowman. Jet Duffy, the backup quarterback today, came in late in the first half for an injured Alan Bowman, the true freshman who had set the world on fire the last few weeks, out for the game after taking a hit to the upper body.
And Tech has really struggled on this down, 3 of 11 up until this point. And if they're going to win and stay in it, they've got to convert on downs like this. Here comes the blitz for sure. They're bringing the corner off the edge. Washington appears to be coming as well. Unless they check it off. They've just checked it off. Looks like they'll sit back. Maybe Tech saw it.
Duffy will throw. He's got Wesley. And Wesley is taken down immediately by Giovanni Stewart. No gain. And it brings up fourth down. The offense remains out on the field. That's the call. And Texas Tech has to get to the 28 of West Virginia.
Yeah, that was nice work by West Virginia defense. They mistimed the blitz. Duffy saw it. He went into an audible. And then West Virginia said, we'll do the same thing.
Now here's the blitz. Duffy running for his life. Somehow stays in bounds. Jet Duffy inside the 10-yard line. How did he do that?
Sports Center, are you watching? That is a top 10 play with an injured player down on the field, Ezekiel Rose. But boy, that doesn't take the excitement away from this fan base and fans watching at home. Look at Duffy here. Oh my goodness. I mean, you just thought, yeah, he was in a phone booth on the sideline and got out of it somehow. But the courage and once again the running ability that Roddy and I talked about. This is the difference for him. They brought a 6-man pressure, Excellent spin, great awareness. Wow.
First and goal, Texas Tech, after an incredible fourth down conversion by Jet Duffy in at quarterback for the injured Alan Bowman. Duffy will run again. And this time, no real estate on the sideline as he's driven out by David Long. Second down, and it goes without saying, Texas Tech needs a touchdown here. I know a field goal makes it a two-score game, but boy, you've got all the momentum right now. The Red Raiders have had that since the first quarter, really.
Part of that momentum is booting him to his right. They're on the left hash. Perfect time to do it now if you want to throw the football.
DeLeon Ward in the backfield. He gets the call right up the middle. Third and goal from the 9.
Yeah, I know Cliff Kingsbury's good at what he does. I didn't necessarily like the run into the boundary, and I don't like the second run there, especially when you have real estate to the right side of the field.
Well, I like what he did last time they were down here where he had 2 running backs and went a little option. Let's see what he dials up here on third down. I would imagine they've got to find Wesley down here, that big body.
This is where you really miss the 6'6" TJ Vasher. Pressure. Duffy. End zone. Broken up. Intended for Wesley. Keith Washington has had a really nice game this afternoon.
Well, his timing has been great. And if you're going to defend a big Wesley, right, you've got to make sure. Watch his timing here. Excellent job with his left hand on the backside, right? That's how you make sure that you secure the tackle. You go with that right hand, and defensive back coaches all over the country are saying that's textbook. He shot that right hand. He didn't bat it down. Fine play there from Washington.
Big field goal for Hatfield to make it a 2-score game. 27-yarder up and good. A 12-play drive by Texas Tech. 3 more for the Red Raiders. They keep chipping away. As McCoy sneaks ahead to the 30 on first down. I got to tell you, picked up on a couple of things in Cliff Kingsbury's office. The first thing that strikes you when you walk in, he's got a painting of Tupac.
I love it. There goes that swag I was talking about. That was awesome.
McCoy gobbled up after a short game, third down. So much chatter, too, in the offseason last year, after the Ole Miss game this year, about Kingsbury's future with Texas Tech. I thought it interesting. He has the Kipling poem, If, taped behind his desk. And there's a line in there. To trust yourself when all others doubt you. Huge play. Here's the pressure, and Grier is sacked. Dakota Allen gets him. Wow. Meanwhile, the Red Raiders, they were dead and out of this game. Down 35-10 at halftime. Starting quarterback out for the game. I don't know why you field that punt. You risk disaster. 46-yard punt, and
not a wise play at all.
But Texas Tech fortunate. They have the ball just inside their own 40. Still plenty of time left. It's a 2-score game. And corner blitz. Duffy completes to Wesley. Turns upfield. And Wesley just shy of the first down, a gain of 9. Roddy, what's it like for the defense when you prepare for a pocket passer and now you have to deal with Duffy's mobility?
Oh, it completely changes, and it's changed the way that they've called this game. We haven't seen as much pressure because of the threat of Duffy getting outside the pocket and hitting you for a big play.
Momentum still with Texas Tech as Henry moves the chains. First down from the 45. Duffy hands it off to Henry. And he is brought down. David Long and Stewart, a loss of 2. Duffy keeps it. He'll run. Lowers that shoulder, and he's to the 39 of Texas Tech. A big third down for Texas Tech. 8:08 to go in regulation. Red Raiders trailed 35-10 at halftime. 3 of 13 on third down today. Jet Duffy in for the injured Alan Bowman at quarterback. High snap. Pressure up the middle. Downfield for Wesley. And Wesley holds it in off the tip. Concentration by the junior from Las Vegas.
That was incredible. It goes off the back of Washington, and Wesley still hauls in the catch.
Going quickly. Duffy! Touchdown! Texas Tech!
Duffy, watch the suddenness on this cut. I mean, he turns upfield quick, fast, and in a hurry, and finds himself in the end zone. Duffy right now is playing like Superman.
PAT is good. 17 unanswered by Texas Tech. We've got a one-score game in Lubbock. Last year when West Virginia played at Texas Tech, the Mountaineers came back from 18 down. Texas Tech has scored 17 unanswered. They trailed by 25 entering the third quarter. And now a one-possession game.
Where is Will Grier? After having 278 yards and 3 touchdowns, second half numbers, 4 of 9 for 59 yards. Where is the Heisman candidate?
Mountaineers will take it out at the 25-yard line.
Guys, it's been a while since we've seen a shot to Marcus Sims. Looks like Texas Tech is shading a safety that way, but it's press coverage to that side.
Grier sacked Eli Howard.
Look at the San Angelo, Texas product. Just come right up the middle. And he charged at Will Grier. Nowhere else he could go. And Texas Tech's defense stepping up again in the second half in back-to-back games.
On the draw, nothing doing. Broderick, Washington, and right now, this Red Raider defense is playing with a lot of confidence.
And Denise, you mentioned the fact that a lot of fans left this stadium, but it is still loud down here, making it hard for West Virginia to communicate on the offensive line and firing up this Texas Tech defense.
Grier downfield, off the hands of Simmons, caught by Sills. He's going to be a couple of yards shy
of the first down. It'll bring up 4th and 2. Grier walking up to the line of scrimmage and looking to the sideline, and Dana Holgorsen right now.
I think you punt here. I really think you punt here.
I'm usually aggressive, but I agree. Punt the football. All the momentum's on Texas Tech side. Make them earn it going the length of the field.
How about that defense? The ball goes off the face mask of the wide receiver into the hands of Sills. And now Texas Tech with an opportunity to win this game that looks like it was so far out of reach. After 28 points in the first quarter for the Mountaineers, they have pretty much shut them down since then.
Bowman makes the fair catch after a 33-yard punt by Kinney. It looked impossible at the start of the third quarter. Down 25, starting quarterback out, but Texas Tech, with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, can tie this game. Can the Red Raiders tie this ball game? Duffy will keep it. Upended by David Long right at the line of scrimmage.
That's an excellent tackle from Long Jr. He's the leader on this defense, and you really need him now, especially with the running ability of Duffy. Him being that weak side linebacker, when he's trying to get out of that back door, you've got to make those one-on-one plays.
Duffy. And good defense that time by West Virginia. Hakeem Bailey closed off the edge. Third down. Texas Tech lost its opener to Ole Miss. After that game, Cliff Kingsbury started growing out the beard. 3-0 since he's put the Gillette away. On third down now. Duffy completes for a first down. Daquan Bowman. Chris Cotter, what do you got?
You guys still have a lot of football to get there, but I want to remind people that starting right now over on ESPN, Florida State and Louisville. So you can check out the beginning of that game. I don't know why you want to leave our game. As soon as our game finishes, though, we'll move that game over here to ESPN, too.
All right, thank you, Chris. Both of those teams looking for their first ACC win. West Virginia and Texas Tech looking to stay unbeaten in the Big 12. Both 1-0 in league play. 2nd and 5 after a run by DeLeon Ward. Play action. Duffy with time. Intercepted. Keith Washington is going to run it all the way back.
The air just left the stadium. And Washington has played admirably on the edge today. He's had the challenge of taking on Wesley. This was a poorly thrown ball. It was underthrown. If he gets it up over his head, it would have been a first down. And I thought he went through his progressions well. He just didn't cut it loose.
I think he changed his mind in the middle of that throw. I think he turned to throw to Antoine Wesley and saw Keith Washington under it and then tried to change his mind, and the ball came out, went right to Washington, and 6 points later, Texas Tech's down a couple scores.
And you're right, you can sense the deflation here at Jones AT&T Stadium. One more look.
Yeah, this ball's just poorly thrown. Didn't even see Washington in underneath coverage.
But you see the deceleration of his arm. That's not the throwing motion that we've seen throughout this game. I really think it's surprising that Washington was there. He tried to stop it, but it was too far gone. It ended up being just a terrible, terrible throw.
14 points off of turnovers. Listen, you know, if you're West Virginia and you're sitting at home and you're a Mountaineer fan, you're going, what happened to our offense? I would like to tell you, listen, look at what your defense was able to do in a clutch and critical situation.
Bowman has the 20. Accelerating upfield across the 40, stiff arm, and into West Virginia territory. Good field position for Texas Tech. 2:49 to go. Red Raiders have 2 timeouts, down 2 scores. Duffy to the air.
Gets passed long. He had to have taken dance classes, boy. He's got nimble feet.
Yes, he does. He's shown it a few times today. And because of that reason, I think if you're Cliff Kingsbury, you try to find a way to get this guy into the football game at some point, despite Cliff's desire to play 2 quarterbacks.
Duffy out of bounds near the 30. He's got a first down. Cliff Kingsbury told us, I'm not playing 2 quarterbacks. Yep. McLean Carter, who started the opener, got hurt against Ole Miss, is still injured. Alan Bowman had thrown for 1,000 yards the last 2 weeks, threw for 605, a Big 12 freshman record against Houston. He got hurt today. But up until today, he had done nothing to relinquish the job, and Jet Duffy has been masterful except for that 1 interception in the second half. Wesley powers across the 25, a gain of 8.
And Duffy's athleticism has really slowed down the charge, right, of this West Virginia defense. You know, you look at those defensive linemen, they are worn out at this point in the ball game.
3rd down after the run by Ward. And a timeout. What kind of team is Texas Tech going to be the rest of the way in the Big 12?
I'm seeing some fight, and that's very encouraging. Look, this is still a team that has some young pieces, and they're trying to figure out what to do with them. And then I think the big question mark is what are they going to do at quarterback now that Bowman's injured? It looks like Carter will be back soon, and Duffy is showed out in his minutes of play.
Ward, he's returned from his injury, was out with a groin. First action today since Ole Miss. He picks up a first down. Meanwhile, I think this helps West Virginia too. Come into a Big 12 environment on the road. As Duffy will run and slides down at the 11-yard line. Now West Virginia gets Kansas at home next week, a game they should win handily. Duffy steps up, end zone, incomplete. Intended for Carter.
Yes.
If you're just joining us, West Virginia led 35-10 at halftime. Texas Tech closed to within 35-27 with the ball. And then Jet Duffy threw a pick 6. Keith Washington returned it for a touchdown. And Duffy is in the game because Texas Tech really is down 2 quarterbacks. McLean Carter, their week 1 starter, got hurt against Ole Miss, and Alan Bowman, who had been playing so well since then, went down in this game in the first half and is out for the game. Duffy will run. Duffy lunging toward the end zone and marked down right at the 1-yard line. Red Raiders trying to go quickly here. Henry into the end zone for a touchdown. Still 38 seconds to go. And we saw Texas Tech practice quite a few onside kicks during walkthrough yesterday.
And this is for moments like this. And let me compliment the rushing attack of Texas Tech in the second half. And Roddy, I know you've been down on the field, and they've been able to manufacture yards on the ground, and that's what's really been able to give them that boost that they needed to be able to go downfield and make plays in the passing game.
Well, with 5 running backs, you're able to cycle them through until you find one with a hot hand, and that was DeLeon Ward that got everything going. But Jet Duffy has added another element. It takes one of the defenders out of run support because they have to always account for the quarterback going out the back door. And now it's going to be up to Texas Tech getting an onside kick.
Yeah, that was a big PAT by Hatfield, so Texas Tech needs to recover the onside kick, and then they need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to send this game into overtime.
And Roddy, we went back and forth on those keys all week long, and listen to this. Texas Tech in the red zone 5 times today, but only 3 touchdowns off of those. And you know, you look at those points now, and how significant are they in the ball game? And you said it. they have to be able to win those one-on-one matchups. And here's the problem. You've got to score. If you're Texas Tech, when you get inside there, you've got to punch it in.
Ahmad, you nailed it. In the red zone, each time they had to kick a field goal, -4 points. What are you down by? 8 points. 2 times you missed it. That's what cost you.
Big kick here. Out of bounds. West Virginia will have the ball. And the Mountaineers just have to take a couple of knees, and they will escape Lubbock with a victory.
Can't even imagine how he feels after that emotional roller coaster after your team played so poorly, particularly on the offensive side. And he's the play caller. You know, he's the offensive guru. And then you come back and how inspired you were by your defensive effort. What a roller coaster that he's been on today.
You start to look back at this game. Texas Tech will not use a timeout, so West Virginia leaves Lubbock with an 8-point win. Dana Holgorsen can breathe a deep sigh of relief. I don't think he needs a Red Bull. This game was Red Bull enough for Mountaineer Nation. And West Virginia hangs on. But this game, Ahmad, really was won in the first 8 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just because they came out on fire. And you saw everything that you thought you were going to see from Will Grier the entire game, but it didn't happen.
42-34, our final score coming up next. Florida State and Louisville, both looking for their first ACC win.